Woo! Hey everybody, welcome to the Hex Token channel, live show of course, and here your host Superman, representing of course, and man, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Get into the chat now. Expo has finished. The big Nagapo party was on. I hope you checked out that video from ABIT on the community tab. I sent that out, so check that out because it's pretty awesome. They're having a lot of fun at the Expo party. I don't think I saw Nagapo there, but I'm sure he was there at some stage, so very cool. Check that out. They had some dancing girls, they had rappers and DJs and big pool and everything else. It looked pretty fun in Las Vegas, though. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. So there we are. Unless it gets posted on Twitter, right? Unless it gets posted on Twitter. So pretty cool. Get into the chat, folks. Say hello. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell for future videos. If you want to share it out to your friends and then share it around, that'd be really cool. Awesome stuff, folks. We're going to get into a lot of stuff, the future of Hex, and of course basically everything else that Richard's building is the part of the future of Hex. So we're going to get into a lot of that now. Obviously Pulsechain, PulseX are the big things. On top of that, a lot of projects are coming onto Pulse. Many of the projects that we're going to cover are from within the Hexkin, Pulsechain community. But there's a lot of projects being worked on that we don't really hear a lot about outside of the community, you know, things like Trust Swap and other things, places like that. So definitely a lot of other stuff going on the Pulsechain testnet. And of course, that will all come to bear when Pulsechain launches. Obviously, we're excited about the fact that Pulsechain testnet, the 2.5 or 2B, as you may want to call it, is coming up within the next week. So that's very exciting. We're going to talk about that later on with the Pulsechain milestone. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, very cool. Let's get into the chat and say hello. I think that the audio is up and running at the moment, so I haven't got a poll on today, but hey, we'll have a break from a poll and we'll just get into some good stuff. I look forward to any questions in the chat there. I'll do my best to answer those, and of course, as we go through different topics as well. Obviously, a lot of action with the pricing, so we're going to get into that and some of my thoughts on that. Cool. I've been posting some videos on pricing just to show what's happening and what's possible ahead. So very cool. John Kinner's in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey John, good to see you. And of course we've got hey, welcome to everybody for sure. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love that. So fish tank. So woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so if you're wondering what the woo-hoos are, folks, it is the channel anthem on Hex Token channel. It is the woo-hoo-hoo. So get used to it, get familiar with it, and that's the pretty much the cry on this channel. So nice one. Craig's in the house as well with the emojis. Big shout out to Craig, a Hex Token channel member, and going to be a content curator for Hex and Pulsechain and the rest of the good stuff. We're looking forward to Craig for sure coming up with his stuff there. Nice. Tefron's in the house with the woo and the money bags. He's easing with the woo as well. So many woo-hoos, man. And smash the likes. Absolutely. Sandeep's in the house. Hey, Sandeep. Greetings from India, Calcutta. Nice. Good to see Sandeep in there. And Heinz Crypto's in. What's up, Hexkins? Hope all is well. That's right. So if you thought the Hexpo was good, that just never stops. Every day, 24/7, Hex is riding on the blockchain. It's super exciting. So if you haven't picked up Hex, get some Hex. It's still on sale. The price is going up. And of course, you can get T-shares pretty cheap at the moment. And of course, once the Hex goes back to all-time highs, it will be expensive. It starts to get up there. So just take that into account. Obviously, there's an offset. Obviously, as you get the T-shares, it costs you more. But of course, the value of Hex is worth more. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. Just take that into account. Francia's in the house. Woohoo! And Crypto Heartbeat's in it. Bullish. Absolutely. Hey, big shout out to Crypto Heartbeat at the Expo Vegas. Did a few videos at least in some of the foyers, some of those huge foyers in the hotels and other places like that. It was very cool. So a big shout out to Crypto Heartbeat, and obviously I think it's what the late night show with friends. I think Crypto Heartbeat's got on. So definitely check that out. Lots of different topics. And everything's covered on Crypto Heartbeat's topic. From politics to motivation to freedom. You name it. Crypto Heartbeats talks about it, as well as, of course, X and Pulsechain. So definitely check out Crypto Heartbeats shows. Tintop's there. What's up, Hexkins? What's up? So good to see Tintop in the chat there. Another Hex Token channel member. Paul O'Shea's in the house. Hellos. Good to see you, Paul. And of course, we've got Tintop in the house with the emojis. I love these emojis. They look so good against the backdrop there. Very cool. And Gabby's in there as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, Gabby, good to see you. PS Joe as well. AA, good to see PS Joe, and lots of cool names in the chat. Love it. Shane's World. Very, very good vibes. All right. Craig's got the clap on. Yeah, we're waiting for you, Craig. We're waiting for your content. As I know, you've got something coming out pretty soon, so we'll look forward to that when it does come out. Frontier's in the house. Sandy Beach. Woo-hoo. Where's Sandy Beach? Was Sandy Beach in the house? I didn't see Sandy Beach. Sandy Beach, calling Sandy Beach. And then Billy Bob's in there too. Richard Hart for president, says Billy. Yeah, what did he talk? He talked about that, didn't he? Talking about potential president run as well. So interesting stuff there. Very, very cool. All right, folks, here we are on Hex.com. Pretty much around about 38% APY. That excludes a lot of penalties. I think the actual rate's probably around 37.8, 38% is close enough. And of course, on top of that, penalties. I keep telling everybody, man, oh man, if you think that the inflation that you're going to get from Hex is really cool, you are going to get massive penalties, folks. It's a beautiful thing. When people don't keep their obligations when they stake or invest their Hex, those penalties go back. 50% goes back to stakers. And of course, that's a huge upside to your return. And stakers, of course, have got the diamond hands, right? I wish I had a diamond hand, but I've only got my fist. A diamond hand here, and of course, those are the ones people get a reward. They keep to it. They accumulate more X, and they're the best type of stakers, right? Stakers also defer the inflation into the future. As we said, there's inflation at the moment, even though it's technically up to 3.69%. The actual inflation hit in the market is over 1%. So very, very cool. Some people have stats at around 1.6%. Some people have about 1.1, but it's definitely over 1% there somewhere. Very, very cool. And that inflation is deferred into the future, and then inflation is deferred in the future. It is one of the fundamentals of X. Very exciting to see that. So anyway, basically, it's the first blockchain certificate of deposit, high returns, no minimum, and decentralized. Very, very cool. Obviously, during this high inflationary period, there's a lot of that stuff popping up in the media now. It's funny what their stories they like to pick up on at any particular time. But of course, that is also true in America, over 7.5% inflation. So why not get a fantastic return in Hex, which is pretty much supercharged certificate deposit, and is really the ultimate savings program. Now, the super feature, of course, is the share rate. And of course, that's the real magic sauce. Obviously, you got to have supply and demand factors, but really the magic sauce is the share rate. We're going to talk about that too. So, folks, definitely do your due diligence on Hex.com. And if you're pretty keen, then you can buy Hex on Uniswap. And of course, you can then stake it on go.hex.com, or you can stake it through Staker app. The link's in the video description. I'm pretty sure I've got a link there on Staker app. And of course, that is the way to go. Now, obviously, also when you get your Hex on Ethereum, you're also going to get a copy of your Hex on the Pulsechain. So it's 2 for 1 at the moment, and it's super cheap prices at the moment. So get it while it lasts. That's really the key. But once again, do your investment due diligence, then pick up your Hex on Uniswap, then stake it on go.hex or on Staker app, and away you go. So very, very cool, folks. Get into it. You will also get a copy on Pulsechain, and of course, Pulsechain is going to be the biggest thing in crypto. And so it just basically infers some extra value into Hex, as we say. So everything that we're going to talk about is the future of Hex, because Hex is a proven product. 2.4 years now it's been out in the market, and it's just growing. If you saw my daily video today, you'll see that the wallet growth's up, the staking growth's up, and I'm sure Hedron's having a good play supporting longer stakes as well. So it seems to be all going very, very well, folks. Good market design, good market fit. They get rewarded by the market. You get the fundamental utilities of those platforms, and of course, you get speculation on that too, which is just part and part of crypto at the moment. So still early times. I would say that decentralized chains are around about halfway through their maturity. So we've probably got a good another 10 years ahead. They're also awesome for freedom, right? They protect our freedoms against centralized control, which some of the things like digital programmable digital centralized currencies are very much a nightmare for people. That means they can tell you who you can buy and sell from. That is a pretty terrifying thing, because basically it puts a small group of people in control of a large group of people, and that's not great. So decentralized currency gives you the freedom, also with the chances of earning some good income in the future. So very, very cool. Spread the word, folks. Hex.com. Let's look at some of the T-share magic. Of course, at the moment, we've got the payout Hex per T-share. It's over 6 at the moment. Look at the 6 Hex per T-share. So a T-share means 1 trillion shares. There's a very large number of shares in Hex, of course, to represent the dynamics of all the people using it, and of course the accounting for the inflation and allocation. So that's why there's such a big amount of shares to make it work. So trillion shares is the way we just summarize the fact that you've got 1 trillion shares. And of course, if you've got, then we have also B shares if you've got billions of shares and millions of shares after like that sort of talk. So that's the sort of thing we're talking about. So Hedron uses B shares or billions of shares. Obviously, Hex uses trillions of shares, and so we call it T-share. And at the moment, we represent your payout in terms of inflation that you're going to get paid. You get 6 Hex per T-share at the moment. So that's basically amazing, right? That's absolutely amazing. And then, of course, the price at the moment is relatively cheap at the moment. 2,900. We actually got down as low as 3 days ago. We were down 2,286. Now, the previous high was about $9,100. So this is super cheap to pick up T-shares. DCA, dollar cost averaging, is a good way of picking it up. But at the moment, they are pretty attractive for sure. And, of course, the share rate is only going up and to the right. So we can see another decent day, 11.7 increase today. So what does this mean? This means that the price goes back to 52 cents. Let's do a bit of math on that. So we take 21,062.9 and we times that by the all-time high, let's say 52 cents. That means that it would cost you $10,952 a T-share. So you can see that $2,938 is very cheap at the moment for that. And of course, it doesn't take long for a market to push the price back up to all-time highs. So really is important to conceive of how much a T-share is and the cost and so forth. The wallets are only growing. The stakers are growing. I showed that in the daily video today. In fact, we can quickly check it because I did use this here. This is hexdailystats.com, just if you want to find it. And of course, you look at this. So we've got a number of holders up 614, a number of current stakers up 413. So total stakers up 437. So you see, this is before Pulsechain even launches. Can you see what I mean? This is insane in the membrane, as I always like to say. And of course, when Pulsechain launches, we've got potentially hundreds of thousands to millions of people coming onto that chain. And of course, Hex is going to be the premier savings product on there. So pretty awesome. And these numbers could get to triple digits or even 5 digits. 4 digits, triple digits. They're already in. So four digits or 5 digits growth we could see in these numbers with Pulsechain launching. And of course, that means all the metrics will go up and to the right. That means the T-share rate, et cetera. So you're if you get Hex on Ethereum right now, the fees have not been too bad lately. And of course, you'll get a copy on Pulsechain. So it's super awesome there. This is the magic of Hex. If you really want to understand Hex, this is really the magic. There is another component that is the magic as well, and that's what we call the Origin account. And it pretty much works kind of, as I always call it, kind of like an operational manager that helps protect and support value for long-term stakers. So that's the way it goes, folks. Very exciting. Right, so that's a bit of a wrap up there of Hex. Let's get into the price. Woo-hoo-hoo. Here we are, the price, folks. There we go. And of course, so far everything's played out pretty well, as I've been calling it the last couple of days. We had, as I said in my price video, we've had this candle here. I'll just zoom in on that. You can see that we had this long-legged doji candle. It's a bit of a TA formation. Obviously, every candle has a different shape. And of course, this one here is where the price opened and closed at the same level. And of course, it's just slightly above because it's green, but pretty much the same level. That's pretty bullish. And of course, it would be bullish if with the next day we had a nice green candle, and we did get that. So beautiful stuff. And of course, now we've got another green candle at the moment. Has been even higher. The high for today was 14.72 cents. I wasn't awake when it did that, but that's what it was. And now it's sitting at 13.3. So a little bit of selling into here, but the upwards trend is really cool. So once we get that solid green candle after the long-legged doji, that was after a downtrend. That would indicate the fact that we've probably got about a 65-70% chance of a trend reversal, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. And on top of that, of course, we had the super bonus that we had this resistance wedge here in the dash line. That was our resistance. So we're trying to hit that price and get over there. And look at it now at the moment. It really has spiked over there twice. And of course, we want it to really close over that line there. So at the moment, that line would be about 13.5 cents. And of course, that's where we want it to close and once the day is finished. So we've still got a few hours to go for that one, as far as I know, probably 10 hours. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got a couple of days, about 4 or 5 days to break out of it and move to the upside. So very, very exciting as well. Once the Hex price starts to go, I think it's really going to start to go, right? It's just sort of trickles in there, and then it's just going to go poof. And basically, really, the analogy of the train leaving the train station is really something that's profound. So once it happens, man, it's boom, up and away. You've seen that with the Hedron price, right? Some of you may have sold out and think, oh, it's going to come back a little bit, but really it's just gone up and to the right pretty much. That's been the case there. So it's going to be a bit like this for Hex as well. So pretty exciting to see this. We have got Pulsechain Testnet 3 coming up in the week ahead. So if we take that, let's take that fact that we got the news about there. It's 7 days, so maybe by the 16th, 17th, we could have the Pulsechain Testnet 3, 2.5, I should say. And of course, that's going to have half the AMM bot on there, SushiSwap, Uniswap Vision 2, and of course, the distribution files for PulseX. So that's going to be pretty neat on there as well. And that's coming up in the next few days. So I just see just the momentum for this. So we've had confirmation from the long-legged doji. It looks like we're about to, stay over and break this resistance. And of course, thirdly, we've got Pulsechain 2.5 coming out with the AMM bot half done and stuff like that. So very, very cool. PulseX basically finished a couple of little updates to that UI and things, information and stuff like that, but pretty cool. So looking good, folks. I'm feeling pretty good about this, and of course, we've got plenty of time. Now we're going to talk about the actual timeline of Pulsechain later in the live stream. We will get into that, and of course, that's got additional information about our future picture here. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Now, nothing's not inevitable, right? We have the Hex price chart when we do TA or technical analysis and just observe the chart. Is the fact that Hex is not a normal price, right? We have staking. We have staking, and we also have people that have unstaked, and hold it liquid. So there are variables that the chart won't tell you about, and we see that in Hex all the time. But I think we've actually run through a lot of those. Some people are wanting us to capitulate at 8 cents or something like that. I really don't think that's the best for us at this stage. I really think that holding this line here, we did spike down to 9.3 cents. So it's not like we haven't had a bit of that already, and a bounce, away we go. So I think that's pretty positive all in all. So very, very cool. Let's have a look at the DMI. And of course, this is looking pretty good too. Look at this DMI going. This is what we wanted to see. I'm very happy about this. Obviously, the sellers have come down. The sellers have come down here. And of course, we want it to go down this direction. The buyers have come up dramatically. So when we were down here at 13, we thought, oh man, how's it going to get back up real hard? And of course, it's got back up to 25, very positive level as well. And of course, it's gone the reversal. Now we want them to cross over. So we want them, the buyer's direction to cross over and the seller's direction to go down. That's what we want to see. The momentum's going to come down as these two cross over. And then, of course, we expect the momentum to stay up above 25. That confirms the buying trend, the bullish trend. That's what we want to see. So we're still, 50% away to getting this outcome, which is very nice because we're very far apart before, weren't we? Back on the 9th, we were very far apart between the buyers. We're in complete domination here. You can see here, pretty complete domination. So we were far behind there. Cool. The RSI, of course, we had plenty of room to move. Oh, let's get out of the DMI there. We've got the RSI. We had plenty of room to move down here. We have come all the way back up to 44. Not over 50 yet. We want to get over 50, but a long way to go for a nice little price run there. So that pretty much there, folks, is the price chart. Let me just pull up. I just want to look at the hourly chart here on the chart. Let me just pull that up. And let's go to the hourly. We're going to get rid of the structure there. And you can see that where the price is at the moment. So just a little bit of profit taking here back to the middle of the Bollinger Band. Be nice to see a bounce off that, just like we saw a bounce here pretty much around the middle of the Bollinger Bands there. That's the 50% price range. 95% is at the top, and the bottom 5% is at the bottom there. So very cool. We had some nice volumes coming in here as well on the hourly there too, lifting us back up. So expect to see a few more of these green candles, to be honest, as well. So nice. We'd also saw quite a bit of liquidity come into the Ethereum side of the Hex price. So that was a pretty interesting move over the last 24 hours. So a lot of Ethereum came into the ETH pair. That was pretty interesting to see that. So very, very cool on the front there. What else was going to say about this? No, that was about it. So 1 ETH at the moment will get you 18,800 Hex at the moment. 1 ETH, 18,800 Hex. So very interesting. All right, cool. That is pretty much the Hex price. Next, we're going to get onto Hedron and get into some of that. Let's get into the comments first as we go. We want to keep this fairly balanced. Crypto Heartbeat and Hex Token pushing constant quality content. Much appreciated. Hey, thanks, PS Joe. And Craig Welling says, hi, Francia. I love Richard Hart. Yeah. And Summer Solstice says, what's up, bros? Gets from Mexico. Hey, Summer Solstice, good. Big shout out to you in Mexico. And yeah, some of those beaches in Mexico and some of the movies I've seen look pretty amazing. Some of those resorts look pretty fancy too. Ramon is in the house. Richard's opening statement last night was right on. Right on. Well said, Ramon. And what else we got there? Crypto Freedom says, what's up, X Token? Much respect. Let's go, Hexkins. PLX. Generational wealth incoming. Absolutely, Crypto Freedom. I agree with that. Absolutely. Ash Tree's in the house as well. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, with the thumbs up. And Sandy Beach is here, everybody. We did the Sandy Beach call. We cried out, Sandy Beach, Sandy Beach. And Sandy Beach is in the house. Hex Token channel member too. A big shout out to Sandy Beach. Welcome with the emojis as well. Nice. And woohoo, says Taffrin. Absolutely. Sam and SB is in the house too. Another Hex Token channel member. Hi all. It says Sam. Welcome to the chat. And the Hodl Generation. Hello is in there as well. Very, very cool. So, great to see so many familiar faces, as we say, digital faces online. Very, very cool. And PS Joe says, right, Pulse isn't even out yet, and there are several. Just wait until it launches. Absolutely. So, the future of Hex is bright because we've got all these projects coming. We're going to be getting onto that pretty soon today. What else we got going? Wood, woohoo. Yeah. Brendan's in the house there. Escalate, woohoo. And Sam says, I'm still a bit confused as to what is your total value Hex of the T-share is. It is because the present value of a 555 is stake. So I'm trying to still a bit confused as to what shows as your total value Hex of a T-share. So a T-share value is for a 1 day stake pretty much. So obviously Hex also allows you to, it gives you bonuses long term. So the effective Hex when you do a stake can go up by 200%. So you get 20% more per year up to 3,641 days. So Hex is a 364 day year on average. And of course, that means you're going to get 20% more Hex shares for every that year that you stake. So that's 200% more. So even though we're looking at this figure, here. This is really for a 2 day stake, and of course, what you'll get you 1 T-share. So in practice, if you actually staked it 10 years, it might only cost you like 7,000 something, just over 7,000 somewhere. So it'll probably cost you that. So yeah, 7,020. Yeah, 7,020. It would cost you to do a 10-year stake, and you get 1 T-share for that. And of course, then after that, you'd earn 6 Hex per T-share at the moment. That's going to go up and to the right, folks. So in the future, people will be earning 50 Hex a T-share. It'll be absolutely insane. There'll be a lot less T-shares around. As we know, there's 10.7 million T-shares, and we can see that. Where's that? Here. We've got 10.7 million T-shares. That's going to go down over time. It will go up based on getting retail virality and, of course, big whales in the house, new big whales. And, of course, the Hex Investment Trust, which we're going to talk about later, coming into play. And, of course, that's going to increase. But over time, it's going to actually decrease, and there'll be a lot less T-shares around, meaning that the reward pool of inflation for Hex is going to go to a smaller pool of shareholders. So that's going to be pretty cool. So you're going to get a bigger payout. It's going to be pretty nice. So Craig says, Sand Gang, absolutely. Joji Candle is indecision, says Sandy. That's right, indecision. It's indecision on the day. So this is, it's indecision on the day, but if you get a green candle on the following day, you've got a 65 to 70% chance of an uptrend, which is exactly what we've seen. The Hodl Generation says Richard Hart for president is like voting for his death, and we don't want that. They're not true. They're Hodl. Tintot says Hex is a rocket train. Absolutely is. And what's up, Hexkins, Pulseskins? The price is up. It's what we'd like to say. Brendan says 2.5 is a tease. It is a bit of a tease, to be honest. It means we have to have a bit more patience, but I suspect that 2.5 and Pulsechain 3 will be relatively short. So we're going to talk about that when we get to the timeline, but we'll cover all the test nets pretty shortly. Chapman says, oh man, future is looking bright. Absolutely is. And Cal says, yeah. So the good thing is, of course, all Hex stakers at the moment with their native stakes are getting a big airdrop through Hedron, and we're about to talk about that next topic. And of course, if you want to also, you can do new stakes through Hedron at what they call HSI stakes. We'll talk about that too. And you can actually borrow against those stakes on the platform there. Tin Top's got the fist in the house, so bright, it says with the Hex token, right? Absolutely sandy beach. And Brazology says, I got people asking me about internet money, haven't researched at all. So we're talking about internet money that is on the list today. So we're going to be talking about that Brazology that is on the list because they're about to launch their sacrifice. It's on a countdown. Tafferin says, look who it is. Look who it is. Bam, says Tafferin. Absolutely. Craig says, hit that like, show the love. And hey, family, Sandra's in the house, everybody. Hey, good to see Sandra. Very, very cool. And Brazology's got that on there too. Thanks, says Sandy Beach. All right, so I think we're almost up to the comments, folks. Did you all see Richard Hart YouTube channel was taken down today? I did see that, Sandy Beach. Let's do our best to get him. I'm not sure if he's back yet. I don't think he is on Twitter. So go to YouTube on Twitter, YouTube official, whatever it is, and try and get his channel back if it's not back already. Let me have a quick look to see whether it actually is back on here. I think I've got the. I can't see it on my list at this stage, but definitely get out there on Twitter, YouTube, and let's get that his channel back. Now, we all know that YouTube takes down channels randomly for a lot of reasons. And of course, we just saw today, can you believe it today that they were, some of the social media sites were changing their hate speech policies just so that they could allow people to hate on certain topics. This is how corrupt the system is now. And of course, we do our best to try and stay on here as well. All right, so Stake says, woohoo, still in Vegas. Brendan says, oh man, really, they really don't like Richard's channel. Yeah, well, it's not the first one. I've had channels taken down too. Well, when Hex launched back on the 2nd of December 2019, I was with a lot of Hex YouTubers early on the early day. We were doing the referral program for Hex. We were excited about Hex into 2020. And of course, we got part of a purge. So there was a couple of purges of Hex channels in the early days of Hex launches during the AA lobby. And of course, our channels got taken down. And there were some decent sized channels. And of course, as you know, because they all got taken down, not all of them, but a big majority of them, you ended up with Hexologist going on DLive just so that he could grow and survive. And of course, he did a great job of that, as you all know. So the crypto purges, particularly in 2020, were pretty bad. I lost my channel, and I know others lost their channels. So yeah, very cool. All right, so what else we got going? Pulse77 says, I invested 50,000 into Hex for 10 years a year ago and got 8 T-shares. When it gets to end stake, do I get my 50 Hex back and interest earned in Hex? So nothing really to do with the T-share price. That's right. So what happens is that when you get your Hex and you stake it, your Hex gets burned or destroyed. In return, you get Hex shares. And of course, you've got 8 T-shares or 8 trillion shares. And of course, when you do that, you'll actually, when you unstake them and it matures, you'll get rid of your 8 T-shares and you'll swap your 8 T-shares by getting your Hex principal plus inflation and penalties back that will get reminted to you. So that's basically that comes back into existence, as it were. But of course, you've got your inflation and penalties in addition to your principal. So that's how it works there, Pulse77. Cool. Tin Top says owned on Binance. I guess CZ is best. Yeah, that's right. So that's another thing. Of course, the court case with CZ and Binance getting Hex back on CoinMarketCap and stuff. It's going to be so cool once the pressure on. We'll see whether they actually respond. If they don't, the judgment looks like after a month, the judgment goes to default win. So looking forward to that. Jimbo says, woohoo, hey, that shows how it's all going. Absolutely. Tintop says it's just another fraudulent coin ranking site we don't need. That's true. The only thing I would say about that Tintop, though, is there are index funds that do crypto indexing to those funds. And of course, there are also media exposure as well. So those two things are pretty important. And a lot of plebs still look at those sites. A lot of us experience once we're decentralized, we're looking at other sites. That is true too. Paul says, can't someone create a YouTube channel vision on crypto? We all use that rather than YouTube. no keys ownership. Well, I agree with you, Pulse 77. It is unfortunately even using Twitter, YouTube, any of these platforms, we all know that they're anti-freedom, they're anti-democracy, they're anti all that stuff. They really are just imposing their worldview on everybody. But the fact is that they've still got the big audiences. It's kind of it's a bit of a tussle there. I ended up getting off all the platforms except for YouTube, because YouTube's probably, even though it's annoying, it's probably the better one out of them. And of course, you only go back on Twitter if people ask, and people ask me to go back on. So that's why I've launched a Token Hex on Twitter as well. And it's just a bit of trying to balance that out, right? Trying to balance out the stuff there. Cupboard up says, will Richard Hart be airdropping ERC 777? Well, all the contracts get copied over there, Carpet up. So all the contract types, 1559, 1155, and all the rest of them. Pulse says, thanks, bro. So in 10 years, when Hex is 1,000 per Hex, I'll be with filtering. That's right, Pulse 77. That is the case for the people that hold on to the T-shares. We've seen a lot of Hex OGs sell the T-shares, and of course they get out, with a decent profit or whatever that might be. But obviously, if the price goes up and they never get back in, they'll miss out on the big ride up. So cool. We're going to be talking about the Hex Investment Trust. I think that's a big signal of how much value is going to be in the Hex coming up here too. Tickle that like button, says Ninja Chopsticks. Absolutely. I love it. And of course, Human Hex Traffic says, how much do you need to stake to get one full T-share at the moment? So you need 21,062 for a 1 day stake. You need to get one T-share, or you can, if you do a 10-year stake, which is the maximum, so 3,641 days, you need 7,020 to do one T-share. So you can stake longer, get one T-share, or stake really short and get one T-share. But of course, staking 1 day is not really, unless you've got, I don't know how much, but a big amount, that's not really worth it, is it? Brendan says there is a crypto called Holochain that is a Web3 and we're creating dApps. Ninja says 2725. That's right. So well done, Ninja. Well, 10 years. Yeah. Nice one there. All right. Let's get on to Hedron. Boom, 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 boom. Let us go to Hedron. All right. It's cool. All right. So here we are, Hedron, folks. This is pretty much like an airdrop for Hex stakers. Kind of, it's kind of rewards. It's also got its own utilities and its own features, basically like borrowing, making encapsulated Hex stakes with NFT, so you can transfer them between wallets. You can sell out of long-term stake positions. It's got things like that. But at the moment, of course, the big deal is that there's a claim. You get there's a 100-day launch phase. Started off at 10x, so you get 10x bonus. Basically, you get one Hedron per B share per day served on your stake. On top of that, there's a special launch phase at the moment running for 100 days, and that means that will give you 10x in the first 10 days, 9x in the second 10 days, 8x in the next 10 days, etc. We're currently in the second set of 10 days. As we go down from 100 days down to 0, by the time we get to the 0, there'll be no claim function. There'll be no launch bonus after that. Okay, so just take that into account. That's really, if you're not going to mint, you've got two things you can claim and get those and lock in those bonuses. So it doesn't matter when you mint them in the future. If you've hit that claim for that stake, you will have that locked in. So at the moment it's 9x. So you claim that and you lock in that bonus. You don't have to mint. Mint is a second function. There's two functions, claim and mint. Mint means that you're going to mint the Hedron based on your stakes and the amount of days served, and it will go to your wallet. And you can sell it if you want, or you can just hold it and see where the Hedron goes. Hedron's kind of an experiment, and of course, it is the big talk of the town at the moment. The price is just up and to the right. And I've been obviously done a few videos on that, so you can check some of those out, and some price predictions, just review price reviews, things like that. So that's really cool. So if you're a Hex native staker, you've done a stake through go.hex.com or Staker app, something like that, you can claim the Hedron. So it's basically like free money airdrop if you want to look at it that way. It's very, very cool. Of course, you can hold it long term. A lot of the Hex skins will hold it long term. We know that pretty much all the stakers that are here at the moment are long term stakers, most of them. And of course, staking ladders and things like that. They will be getting the Hedron, and that means that because it's an airdrop to Hexicans, there's a lot less propensity to sell. All right, if this was a lot of other communities, that would have been dumped. And of course, we've actually had pretty good, robust hands. Now, how high can it go? I suspect that it can go quite high in the first month or two, and then we'll see it settle off a little bit before it goes up for another rise. The parabolic rises, and of course, we'll watch that for sure. Obviously, it's had good support from the Origin account and the Hex Guy Wow, stuff like that. and we'll see how that goes. The good news, of course, is that you have access. So if you want to do it, is read only to do claim and a mint, and that's the way it goes. All right, so let's jump over to Hedron DApp. This is where you'll do it. Of course, connect your wallet, and then of course your stakes will show at the bottom here. You'll have an action button on the right that will have two functions: claim, which means you can lock in that 9x bonus at the moment, or a mint, which means you can mint your tokens. So just connect your wallet, hit the claim. At 30 Gwei, it'll cost you about $10 each, around that point, maybe plus or minus $1. So maybe $20 per stake if you both claim and mint. And of course, you can add Hedron to your MetaMask, and that will just the tokens will show up in your MetaMask. Obviously, it's on the blockchain, but that's just the way it goes. So cool. If you want to make a new stake, of course, you can hit create Hex stake, and this will become an encapsulated stake in an NFT. You can pretty much move it from wallets and stuff like that if you want to sell out. You can sell these on OpenSea NFT exchange, and of course, you can put in the amount. Let's say you put 10,000 Hex in there, and you could put that in for 5 days. Then that would be a way to go. You just approve the Hex and just follow the rest of the process, and you'll have that your Hex stake that way. Now that seems to be very popular. A lot of people like that because obviously they can trade it, exit, long position, and of course that's also benefiting Hex because it's making more long-term stakes in Hex, and we've seen those numbers jump up here. We can see that we've got some good staking numbers going: 413, 751, 476. So pretty good at the moment. So that is pretty much the Hedron there. And also, people, once you've got an HSI stake or an encapsulated stake here, you can. So this is different from staking on go.hex.com or StakeRap. You're actually making a different. You're basically making a Hex stake, but on top of that, you've got these extra features from encapsulating it with extra contract features. That's basically what you're doing. And of course, later in the future, when people can borrow against the HSI stakes, and of course, if they default, those will go up for auction. And then people are able to bid for those stakes, so real Hex stakes, and they'll be able to bid with the Hedron on that. So that's going to be in the future because it was still only just started, right? So it's going to be fascinating to see that play out, and very, very cool. Now, there is a AMI bonus as well, an advanced emit ratio bonus. That's going to be well off into the future too because of the amount of Hedron that's been minted. So that's going to be a long way off of that bonus. That bonus will last one day. You got to just keep your eyes on it in the future. If you haven't minted, you'll be able to claim that. So you make sure you haven't minted to claim the extra bonus. It's like on top of the launch bonus on at the moment. So hopefully that's a bit of a summary there. Trying to make it as simple as possible. Let's have a look at the Hedron price there. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! All right, party time. All right, so here is the Hedron price, and as you say, I've got it on the hourly, but let's jump to the daily. And check out this beautiful thing. Obviously, you've done a video just earlier on Hedron. Look at this thing, man, oh man, oh man. Of course, we had our bottom here on the 3rd of March. So how many days we've been in play? What day is it? It's about day 13 or approximately on the price chart anyway. All right, so let's have a look at the low was on the 3rd of March. And, of course, the price was 553. There's 6 zeros in front of that, by the way, US cents. So 500. Just a way of simplifying it. So it's actually 0.60553 is the US cent price per Hedron. But because we're just making it easy, we just go 553, just the back end of numbers. And of course, we take it from there, 553. We take that all the way up to the all-time high, which at the moment is 6681, so 6,681 compared to 553. That's a massive X multiplier. And of course, let's get that about right. Yeah, so we're up almost 11x. Can you believe it? From the all-time low within 7 days, 11x, so 10,080% in that period of time. Isn't that amazing? So it really is outstanding. Almost 11x. It's made some people with some small Hex stakes that have claimed their Hedron and sold it. Some of them have absolutely made a mint on that because they've got 11x on it if they've held it through the period of time, of course. So pretty astounding. Now, obviously, the price is going up and to the right. Now, nothing just sustains all the time up and to the right, but at the moment, it's holding up pretty well. And we'll see what happens to today, right? We'll see what happens today. So if that is what's happening there, and of course, we'll go to the 1 hourly chart. You can see that we've actually got a little bit of weakness in the angulation there. So we're actually, this angle here was going up here. So it'll just be a bit cautious at the moment because it's sort of broken down this angulation. So that means the kind of the momentum So just be a little bit cautious, but we've got up here is at the moment. So if this can get a nice little green candle, we'll pretty much be back on track up there. So just take into account, especially if we broke this top angle here, this resistance we get above that, 7,300 is pretty epic. So that's pretty exciting. So just a little bit of caution in there is all I'm saying. And of course, let's scroll this down and get the whole amount here. So we'll pull that in. So when I do these 5Xs, 10Xs, I'm meaning from the first day. So the first day we had a spike up to 3,184. So it's really kind of multiplier of that. Of course, 10X is a little bit below what it would be. It's really like 33, but I've just been a bit more conservative and just went to 30,000. And of course, those are massive gains, right? Massive gains, because as we say, from the all-time low, we're up about 11x, right? So just take into account. So that's massive gains from there. We're currently at 6,381. And of course, the next real psychological target is 10,000, right? You know what? That's kind of like that human psyche there. And of course, that we always have a battle around there, unless we punch through it with great force, tour de force. The other thing, of course, we've had people originally were coming in $10,000 buys, $20,000 buys. And of course, we've been seeing people come in with $100,000 buys, $150,000 buys. As we go up in price, you need bigger economic energy. So one would expect to see $250,000 buys, $500,000 buys. As we push the price up, you would think that bigger money is going to be coming into the play. So it'd be interesting to see that play out. You can just see down the trading here, 50, 62. So this is kind of what we're getting at the moment, 50 to 130, something like that. And then, as I say, it'd be interesting to see over time that money gets bigger. Like in Hex, it got bigger, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million buys. You get the one I'm talking about. So definitely something to look out there as well. But price is holding up pretty well at the moment. 6,239. It did hit our target here of 6,300, and now it's just floating around that area at the moment. So pretty interesting. And as I say, the next one is 1,000. I think that's pretty good. I think 5X here up at 15,000. That's a kind of me. I did a stake on HSI stake, and I staked Hex for 5555. And of course, the value I think equates to about this price level. So I'll double check my numbers. But this is kind of like the underlying fundamental value. And so whether it actually breaches this amount over time is within 1 or 2 months. Obviously, it's going up very fast daily, but there's always pullbacks, right? So just taking into account. So kind of a 1 month, 2 month horizon, kind of a safe bet there. And of course, expect that to zigzag up there over time. So the time frame here is not relevant, just the targets. And of course, crypto is well known for overshooting. So if it overshoots, it could go up towards 30,000 if it overshoots. This is over a month or 2 month period, not over the next few days. Just take that into account. But hey, at the moment, so far so good. As I say, you do need bigger buys to push this up. So at the moment, we're seeing 50 to 130,000, that kind of range, which we've already shown you some of these already. We get lots of 10s and 20s and 30s, but it's really 62, 49, 39, that sort of stuff there. Is got to you got to add all those up. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get some big players coming in with $1 million buys, and of course that's what's going to get us up to these bigger things here. As we know, though, of course, people that got Hedron, it's all pretty much an airdrop. So people that are getting it, they can sell it down. It's airdrop free. The only offset, of course, is the fact that this is hexagons getting the airdrops, and of course many of them just have diamond hands. They don't sell. A lot of big wallets don't sell. So some interesting stuff there. So far so good. So far so good. But as I say, just be tentatively cautious as the support lines change. So as you can see here, the support lines change. So at the moment, we're getting a nice little uplift there. Imagine that the momentum's still good. It's just weakened a little bit, but can it push higher and, of course, get back on track with that sort of angle momentum, as it were. Cool. Let's have a quick look at the moment, 24 hours down to 35%. We were sitting over 100% not long ago. So that's, obviously showing the momentum slowed down a bit there, but we're getting some nice green candles here at the moment, which is positive, might get us back on track. Liquidity at 4.2 million and a market cap 395 million. Alex has got to be absolutely over the moon with this market capitalization. 395 million, folks, is just outstanding, right? That is just crazy good. You're just some programmer, who's a talented programmer, but you're just some person, and you've already got if you think about it, it's like having an enterprise that's $395 million. That's pretty incredible, right? That's stuff you hear in stories, but you're probably not going to hear this story on CNBC, right? but it's because they're missing the picture. You guys know that they have clueless about Hex. They're clueless about all this stuff, and this is the way it goes. Hey, look, we just had a big sell there. Hey, so that's a good example. So we had a big sell. Where we go? Up here somewhere. Let me just go back. So we had someone sold 34 billion Hedron there, $203,000 drained out of the pool. So that's what I mean by this angular momentum, just pulling down here. And of course, that's the resistance. We needed a really strong candle, green candle, push us back in. So that's a good example of what I mean, just about being cautious. But hey, once again, this could get a nice big green candle, get pushed up. But once you break that angular momentum, you've just got to take into account that now we're at this one here. This is our angular momentum here, right? So we see we hit that mark there on the angular down here, and of course from the top bottom there. So we'll just keep watching as the momentum moves from this angle up here to this angle here. So just keep watching that for sure. Sometimes it might come down here, bounce off here, and then move up, right? So just keep watching it over the next wee while. Many of you probably don't care. You're just going to hold long term anyway. Some of you are going to look to sell your Hedron bags. You've made tons of bags. And, of course, you know, you look to buy some Hex. Of course, where else? Because Hex is near the bottom of the market, had an 80% pullback. So where else would you, if you want to get a nice big upside, 5x, 10x possibly, then where would you go for another 5, 10x? And that's the way to go. So we'll see what people do. Some of people's decisions determine what happens here. Very, very cool. All right, let's have a quick look before we wrap up on Hedron. And we're going to jump over to the Hedron contract. And we can see that we have had a nice little jump there in Hedron. Now up at 60, we're under 60 billion. Now we're a trillion, I should say. Now we're at 61.1 trillion. So definitely been some minting going on there. And so pretty impressive. We can see the top one wallet there, 26 trillion, 3.5, 3.2, etc. So all of some of the big wallets as well. And then, of course, here is Hex 19. Yay, Hex 19. Obviously, Hex 19 was the famous hack, gave us the biggest Hex payout per T-share last year. I think it was November. And, of course, that was deeply sad. You know, it's not just bittersweet, but very sad. We don't want anyone to get compromised like that. But it's very cool to see the Hex 19 being able to claim the Hedron and then move it to another wallet. And then, of course, gets, you know, not the super wealth that add, but get some of that wealth back. Is very, very exciting. So, you know, some good stories in this Hedron, apart from everybody getting an airdrop, which is pretty cool too. So that was pretty awesome stuff. And of course, we've got lots of these big wallets. Just remember that we just had 39 million to sell down, right? And that was the 202,000. So you sort of mean out of the pool that the wallets there. So that would be a second page wallet. 39 would be a second page wallet. So anyone in the top 100 here is kind of being able to, you know, drain maybe 180k, something like that out of the pool. So just take that into account as we move up. There are always a bit of pullbacks, despite the fact that Hexkins is a very good diamond hands. You always have a percentage that are going to sell down because it's just too awesome. The gains are so much, and some people may not even had big stakes. Maybe they bought some Hedron down really low. I know many people watching this live stream. We've been covering Hedron. They've definitely picked it up at the cheap price, made some big X returns. Congratulations to them. And so, yeah, very, very cool. So just take that into account. But I think the top wallets here, something we haven't seen is a lot of these top wallets, you know, obviously Hex Goldwire object accounts. Some of these bigger ones here are still holding on for the long term. They'll probably be holding on to see that, you know, that big X is on this project. So very exciting. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the markets. Markets had a nice little jump over 40k. Bitcoin at 38.3 at the moment, and ETH at 2.5. I'm not really sure why it's actually pulled back, to be honest, because you know, the markets news has actually been pretty good for the most part. So let's have a look at the last 7 days. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, so we definitely were up over, you know, the 10th of March, 9th of March. We were back up over at 42, 400, and then we're back down again. So yeah, pretty volatile. We knew markets were going to be volatile, but actually news has actually been relatively better than expected, particularly around the Fed at the moment. But this year is going to be volatile. Do expect it. It is in the game for this year, so to speak. So cool. That is what's happening there. Let's jump over to liquid loans. We're going to get into that. Before we do that, of course, let's see what's happening in the channel there. I'll leave it on the actual price there. Let me just go bam, and we'll get into the sacrifices. We're going to cover liquid loans. We're going to be covering Mintra and of course PowerCity. We're going to be covering that on the sacrifices, and then we're going to be talking about internet money because that's coming up soon. These are all going to be on the Pulsechain, folks. And they're all going to add value to Pulse and PulseX. So it's going to be very, very cool. All right, so let's get into the comments there. I got up to origin address. There is a crypto version of YouTube called Theta. Yeah, I have heard of that actually. And Jimbo Sticks says, I started a heap of 5 for 5 stakes well over 200 days. Nice one, Jimbo Sticks. And Hex Token channel member 2. Whoop, whoop, represent. Sandy Beach says, Jimbo, did you claim or mint your Hedron? Jimbo, wow. Yeah. Tea's in the house with the fire. Love it. And Pulse 77 says, how long do we have to claim? How do we go about claiming it? Is it easy to do? Do we have to MetaMask? Yeah. So you have to use your MetaMask Pulse 777. And of course, the link is in the video description, I believe. I've got the link to Hedron. And of course, it's got a timer on there. I think it's on the homepage. On the homepage, yeah. So the timer says bonus will drop to 8x in 6 days and 20 hours. So you got 6 days and 20 hours to claim. You don't have to mint them, but you have got 6 days and 20 hours to claim your Hedron before it drops down from a 9x bonus to 8x. Remember, that's on every day served. So for your days that you're going to serve in the future, you're going to get 9x bonus. It's a big deal. Definitely get the claim in. It's read only on there. If you want to watch some cool videos on it, check out David Feder. David Feder, he's going to be running a public validator on the Pulsechain, but he does excellent coverage, the best, I think, on Hedron. Definitely check that out. Well, one of the two best, I would say. There's another guy that's pretty good too. Pulse 777, what is the difference between claim and mint? So claim means you're locking in the bonus, as I said earlier. The mint is actually minting the tokens with the bonus included. I bought some Hedron last night on MetaMask, and it's not showing in my wallet. So what I would do there, PS Joe, is go to the dApp here and click Add Hedron to your MetaMask. That will open up your MetaMask, and you can add that Hedron there. Cool. Jimbo Stick says it will be on the blockchain there too, PS Joe. So you can actually just put your wallet on Ethereum, on the Block Explorer, and you'll be able to see that. Jimbo Stick says how to send a HSI to my own wallet, Superman. You'll just transfer it to your wallet is the way you'll do. Just like you transfer a token, you just transfer the NFT stake. I haven't actually done it, but that's all you would do. Wallets. Yeah, wallet. Yeah. Paul says, do you think it's safe? Yes, it's a ton of people have already claimed. I think it's like 8,000 people have done a claim or something. So it is fairly safe on there. You can actually go to the social media there. As David Feder has actually read the contract and the audit and said that it looked all good and that it's only read only, and a lot of people have already claimed. Just trying to get the Twitter there. Let me just refresh this. This is actually, let me just go back on here. I was trying to find the actual update. So this is the update from the 8th of March. It's a little bit dated, but at the time, 9,900 claims were just in one day. Bonus claims today and 5,200 states minutes. So tons and tons. Oh, well, that's not the day. I think it's cumulative actually. But that's the total. It's pretty massive. There's a lot more than that now, 2 days on. So very, very cool. All right. So Sandy says claiming just locks in the bonus. Absolutely does. So 9x bonus for this at the moment. And as we said, there's only six days or so until it goes to 8x, and then it will go down to 7x in the next 10 days, 6x the next 10 days. After 100 days, there will be no claim function. So when you go to your stakes, there'll be no claim function. It'll just be minting. So do lock into that bonus at the moment. Woo-hoo-hoo, says D-Hex. Hey, good to see D-Hex. Brendan says Junto is a non-profit social media organization. The idea behind Junto is to take away all the pretentiousness that is prevalent in social media right now, make it more real. I love that, Brendan. Good insight there. Thank you. And Craig says, what else we got? Brendan says, while wanting to be a more real and authentic way. Absolutely, Brendan. Connecting people. Awesome. All right, so check that out, folks, if that's attractive to you. Somersault says Hedron is on steroids, extremely bullish. Absolutely. PS says, I did that, Craig. I'd like to see it. The wallet's cool. Hedron seems to be successful already. The launch is great. A gift to Hex takers. Cool. Hex seems to like it. Absolutely does. And what else? Sandy Beach says, woohoo! Zero Gravity says Hedron shows all-time high on TradingView. Yeah, I don't think that's right on the TradingView there, Zero. I think the numbers on TradingView are wrong. Brennan says I'm up 10x, says Brennan. Well done, Brennan. Woohoo! We're not worthy. Well done, Brennan. Well done. Pulse 777 says, where do you buy Hedron? Is it worth buying? It's now or probably too late. Only Hedron, what can you do with this other than trading if it goes up? Well, it's had 11x run there, Pulse 77. I'm not going to give you investment advice on that. All I'm going to say is that a lot of Hexkins will play the long term for the Hedron. That's all I'm going to say. Obviously, after 11x, I'm not going to say go and buy it. although, it could go up 30x. So just, it's one of those things. But you can buy on Dex Screen. Pulse 77, I think I gave you the link on one of your comments on the video for this anyway. So check that out, Pulse 77. Uniswap, yeah, absolute Uniswap. That's the biggest pair. Hedron should be a sign of things to come for Pulsechain. Going to be a wild ride. Hey, Nick, that's a really good observation. Obviously, with the Hedron success, you can imagine Pulsechain and PulseX, right? It's going to be mind-blowing. Really good points. Very, very cool. And Sandy says, can purchase Hedron without staking? Yeah, you can. That's right. Jimbo, so if you don't have a Hex stake that you can claim against, you can buy Hedron. But once again, it has gone up 11x. Just take that into account. No investment advice on this channel. We just do the commentary review and our own predictions. So very cool. All right. So Jimbo says HSI, go to my wallet is a contract add or a token add. So you need to add the contract and input that in. I think to see it. I've actually not done that actually, to be honest. But that's all you do. Just like a token, I think you just add in the smart contract thing as an import. That's all. It should be simple like that. They all work the same way. Just different features that you can do. I have Hedron, says Francia. Well done, Francia. Frank Media says, yes, you can buy Hedron on the market. Highly liquid against USD. Absolutely. The Vision 3 pool is the pool to be trading. And of course, where am I on here? I'll just post this in the chat. You can use this as a deck screener. And of course, that is, you can trade on there with Uniswap. You can see Uniswap over on the right-hand side there. You just pull that up and it will pull up Uniswap. Thanks for Tintop. That worked. Nice. PS says, once we claim a Hedron, is it beneficial to wait to mint that we claim? We can get more of a time or no? You will get more of a time because the more days you served in your stakes, the more Hedron you'll get. You get 1 Hedron per B share per day served times your multiplier. So yes, you will get more PSJ. You don't have to mint straight away. Just claiming, locking in the bonus is the most important thing to do right now, which is a 9x bonus. Because obviously that's huge, right? 9x times in the future after 100 days. Of course, even in a few days' time, 6 days' time, it's only going to be 8x, then 7x, 6x, etc. After 100 days, there's no claim bonus. It's a launch bonus, special launch bonus, and it will be gone bigger. There'll be a lot of people with Hex stakes that do not claim their bonuses, and of course they'll get 10x less or 9x less than everybody else. It's just the way it's going to be. Cool. Let's have a look here. Jump through some of these. Mr. A's in the house. Hey, Mr. A. Question. So when we claim and don't mint, that bonus will last till the end of stake. Correct, Mr. A. Correct. Love Richard Hart says, Sandy Beach, actually, question. Our Hedron balance, once we claim, keeps increasing till the end of the stake. Correct. Correct, Mr. A. It's all about days served. So obviously, if you've got a 1,000-day stake, you've served 500 days, you'll get Hedron. If you minted it now, you get Hedron for 500 days. But of course, if you don't mint that now, you mint it on the last day of your stake, you'll get 1,000 days of Hedron. So 1 Hedron per B share per day served, of course. And if you claim 500 days now, then you'd be able to claim more in the future as more days start served through your stake period. So as you get to day 750, you'll have 250 more days. As you get to the last 250, you'll have, you can claim. Some people see it like an income, like you could claim every month. So maybe you'll get Hedron every month, depending on how big your stake is. And of course, that would be like an income every month. So it's another income. Isn't that cool? Really is cool. The income lasts as long as you've got your day stake. So the longer you got your stakes, the more income you're going to be earning. It's pretty neat. It's pretty awesome if you think about it. Mr. A says, do you think Hedron can touch one? Now, let me jump over there. Cliff says, I have some issues claiming more than one wallet. It's stuck on previous wallet when I refresh and delete the cache. Yeah, that should be right. Crypto Cliff should reset itself. Let me jump through some of these. Brazil says, I can't promote buying into this huge pump, but it's only 11 days old, says Brazil. Absolutely. Paulson says, yeah, you did give it to me, but I asked after you had to do it. Do it. Okay. That's all good, Miss Pulse. And PS says, good call, Craig. It was from Nomics. Yeah. Nick says, and when we copies our Hedron on Pulsechain, can't beat that. Absolutely, Nick. Where we're up to here. Kevin D says, connect the wallet and add MetaMask. Work for me. Yeah, me too. Can you please explain future AMR bonuses concept on HDRN? So that's going to be a special bonus. It's going to last for a day, and it's going to be if a lending on HSI stakes ever gets, I think it's 50% of total amount minted. But of course, we're up to 61 trillion minted now. So that'd be about, 30 trillion in lending against HSI stakes. So I'm not so sure that's going to be happening for any time soon. But that'll be a one day. Some people won't mint it until that day and they get an extra bonus I can't remember what the bonus actually is. Let me just jump up, go to the homepage. I'm not sure if it actually has it down at the bottom there. You can see it here, a 0x to 10x multiplier, so it could be pretty big. Advanced to mint ratio. So advanced means lending against HSI stakes to mint ratio. The total amount of mint is already 61 trillion. So I don't know when this could happen. It could be years down the line, years and years. We'll see with the 10x multiplier. It's got a 0.2x to 10x, so I'm not sure what the lower one is, but that's going to last apparently for one day. Check out David Feder's video. He covers this in more detail on YouTube. So David Feder on YouTube, check that out. Hexcoin says history repeats. I swapped some Hedron for ETH. No. Yeah, well, there's be a lot of people that would have sold out Hedron pretty early on. I know that Hexologists sold it out pretty early, and of course, I missed probably most of the pump, is my guess. But bought Hex, so still going to ride the Hex train, right? Craig Whiting says if you hodl your Hedron, you'll get a copy of it on Pulsechain after launch. Also, yeah, that's a big point. So Craig, as Craig says, if you hodl your Hedron, you don't sell it, you'll get a copy of it on Pulsechain after launch. It's a liquid holding, so just remember that. So it's pretty pumpamental. It's 90. You got a nice price speculation going at the moment, but you've also got that copy on the Pulsechain if you're holding Hedron. So very, very exciting. Really good place to finish that. Thanks, Craig. Let's jump over to the sacrifice. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. We're up to an hour here. We've got about 20 minutes to go or so. So let us go. Here it is. So liquid lines. Let's refresh this. Obviously, this has been super successful. 45.4 million US dollars, and of course, this is pretty much the lending facility. It's going to be early to market on Pulsechain, maybe within a month after Pulsechain it will actually launch, because it needs a price feed of Pulse, and of course some audits just for the law changes that they've made to the Ethereum code. So 9,000 wallets there. In practice with the pools and stuff, they've probably got 15 to 20,000 wallets, something like that is my guess. There's 1 trillion and 94 billion loan tokens. And of course, not all of those will be coming out straight away. So maybe 25%, something like that. Because there's a longer pays better bonus up to 2 years. So a lot of people have deferred their stuff much longer than that. End of the sacrifice phase is in 10 days and 8 hours. Yay! I can't wait till it's finished, to be honest. But hey, I actually think these sacrifice phases are too long. I don't know let me know in the chat if you think they're too long, because I think they're too long. And I think maybe 10 days. 10 days is a better length. Maybe 10 days, like first 5 days and then the next 5 days or something like that. I just think it's too long. Maybe 3 days and then 7 days, something like that. It's probably better. So yeah. Anyway, so that's going. And of course, if you want to check your address, this will give you an indicator. At the end of the sacrifice, Jexa from Liquid Loans has said that they will have a site up that you can actually check your official numbers that will have your earlier pays better, your biggest pays better, your longer pays better, plus any referral bonus that you've got. So so that would be pretty awesome. So very, very cool. We can see that the Magic Upright team are at the top there, just almost 9.1 million. Hex Gold at number 2. Not really any changes with the top 10. And of course, let's see what the Magic Upright team, that's a pool or a syndicate of people around the world that are sacrificing together to get a whale level multiplier. In fact, they were so good, they actually took it off the Hex Gold whale, which is a pretty rare event. But that should live down in infamy, that's for sure. Let's jump down. We'll scroll down to the day, of course, the 10th. I think the 10th is the last one here. So did have some sacrifices on the 10th. $716, $1,700. Looks like about $2,000. About $2,200, something like that. They've sacrificed. So they're still doing a little bit more. Obviously, they got the whale multiplier, and as I said, the whale multiplier is on here, showing between 2.2 and 2.5. So well done on that. So that's the bigger pays better as well. All right, so cool. Now that's a mixture, of course. They've got people that are getting their tokens instantly, people that are getting their tokens 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and then 24 months. So that's the way that they've done their sacrifice. Very cool. We can see that the total has just tapered off there, so not increasing as it was, sticking around that 45 million. And of course, both chains, we'll jump through that. This is their longer pays better bonus. Remember, there's earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. And on top of that, the referral, a 5% referral, if you have used a referral code and registered your wallet for that. But at the moment, 17.7 million at the end here, 24 months. Hex Gold Whales in there too, so won't be getting their tokens out. And of course, people that will be getting their tokens immediately, there's $17 million. And of course, they'll be able to stake those loan tokens in the actual loan platform as well. So that means that they will be able to earn USDL and PLS tokens. So it's going to be interesting to see whether these guys do better than these guys. Although I suspect that the guys that are 2 years out will do very well, because by that time Pulse price would be really high if all goes to plan. And of course, that means the value of all the business that's going through, all the loans, where people collateralize their PLS, get loans and stuff like that, will mean a lot more fees, and so the platform will be a lot higher. So I suspect that these guys will probably win out, but I still think that as the income goes up, and of course you get a high lot of volumes out of the gate, it's probably go like that, and then maybe up like that. Riding the success of Pulsechain, that these guys will do fairly well as well. So cool. All right. So number of wallets, of course, we've under 2,500, 1,800, and then we've got some decent sized wallets here. 26 under $250,000. 11 under 500,000, so they're constant decent ones. And of course we've got our super whales there in the millions, so very, very cool. The Magic Carpet Ride team is going to be controlling 23.15%. Obviously they get the points and then they allocate it to all the people that sacrifice with them. So that's they've all got different staking arrangements. But the Hex Gold Whale has got 19.67%. Of course, they're delayed for 2 years, so they won't be hitting the platform earning fees. So that's kind of cool. But once again, when they come out in 2 years' time, the platform, if it's gone up and to the right, that'd be incredibly valuable. And this is how the Hex Gold Whale has made so much, right? So people say $3,500 into hundreds of millions, if not up to. I've heard numbers from 300 million upwards to $2 billion. So there we are. That's pretty exciting. We're on day number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Day 20. Day 20 at the moment. Earlier pays better. You get 6,139 loan tokens per dollar. And of course, tomorrow you'll only get 5,846. The final day on day 30, which is the 20th of March, when the sacrifice ends, you'll get 3,768 loan points per dollar. So that's pretty much it. This chart actually shows it a bit better per dollar. As you go down, you're going to get less and less and less loan tokens. So there's earlier pays better. That's what these charts show. There's bigger pays better based on your US dollar value versus everybody else. And then, of course, there's a longer pays better, which is really the big one that you can influence. If you haven't gone into the Magic Carpet Ride pool, you can influence the longer pays better. And you can also sacrifice on many periods. You could sacrifice 6 months, 12 months to get those bonuses average up. So you got tokens coming out all the time. And of course, there's referral on top of that, 5% referral. If you've used a referral code, you have to register it and then do that. So most people have done their sacrifice, but you still get a lot of late people coming in here as well. But once again, this is super successful valuation, and that means if you think about it from a pure economic point of view, to justify such a huge amount, 45 million, you really need Pulse to be successful and Liquid Loans to ride the back of that with lots of loans, lots of fees, and make that income successful. So you're going to need a lot of income turnover to give you that good APY. But obviously, we've seen on Liquidity that it's worked pretty well over there. And could have been even better if it wasn't for the gas fees over there, obviously, which have come down a fair amount at the moment. Well, we're in a half bear market, so there we are. All right, that's Liquid Loans, folks. Let's jump over to Mintra, and we're going to have a quick look at this. So Mintra is the 10,351,000. Now, this has also been a beneficiary of the Hex Gold Whale, and of course, once it's Hex Gold Whale sacrificed this, everyone jumped in, and of course, 2,807 wallets. There are now 1,788,000,000 mint tokens. So this is an NFT marketplace. The link is at the top there if you want to check that out. This is on hexpulse.info. And of course, this sacrifice ends in 7 days and 12 hours. So every 24 hours, remember earlier paid better gets more expensive. You can check your address there for indicative points. At the top, of course, the Hex Gold Whale, and we've got another millionaire sitting underneath that as well. So cool. Let's go to the top 500 wallets. You now need $1,107 to get in the top 500. And of course, we can see that there's 2,800 wallets on here. And what else we got here? So sacrificed amounts, you can see it has tapered off. And what else? Chains. We won't look at the chains there. We can see that this candle here is 2,500 or less is sacrificed from this candle here, this big one. And we've had 10 wallets, 50 grand. 43 wallets, 25 grand, and then of course we've got some bigger ones up here, $250,000. We've got 6 wallets and so forth. So that's where really the Hex Gold Whale changed the game on this. You can see the Hex controls 49.33% of all mint tokens. Pretty much they're basically NFT marketplace, be early to the market. The strength of this is the fact that they've got Gerardo doing the promoter, one of the biggest YouTubers in the Hex Pulsechain space. And of course, with doing Staker app as well with Hodl Dog. So there could be some real alliance there on social media. That could give them a really good a big promotion, actually getting users. You want users to use the platform. And of course, having the biggest YouTubers in the space do that, you could actually really get market share, right? Because they're not the only one. Of course, PowerCity is also doing an NFT marketplace as one of their product offerings. Obviously, they're doing a multi-product offering, but Mintra is specialized in the NFT marketplace. Because remember, when Pulsechain launches, it's going to get a copy of all the Ethereum NFTs, and they'll be coming over to Pulsechain. Then they're going to need a place to trade. So that's going to be interesting to see that play out. Pretty much, I think the fees are 2.25. I think half's going to go back to half of the fees going to go back to the people that hold mint tokens. So you could see the Hex Godwell could get extremely wealthy here if this platform even does 10% of what OpenSea does. So it really is a pretty big, awesome stuff there. The second whale's got 10%, so 60% controlled by the top two whales, and then 5%. So 65% controlled by the top three whales there. So pretty cool as well. Yeah, so what day are we on? I think that's day 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, day 19. Currently at the moment, earlier pays better, you get 64.46 points or mint tokens per $1. Tomorrow that's going to be 61, so down from 64 to 61, and then only about a week to go, and then you're going to get 45.8 mint per dollar. It's going to be pretty fascinating. So obviously there's risk returns to these, right? Pulsechain hasn't launched yet. These haven't launched on Pulsechain yet, and of course you need to know now the team of Mintra has doxed themselves. Understand? So that's cool. And of course you got Gerardo in there, and of course you need to think about will they get the customers on there? Because obviously that's where you're going to get the fees. That's going to give you the value of the Mintra tokens, right? On top of that, you got speculation, but really underneath that, you need to make sure they get adoption and fees. That's kind of the way it goes. Cool. That's Mintra, folks. Let's jump over to the final one. And of course, that is the PowerCity. Now, this is obviously with the Magic Carpet Ride team. And they did a video on that yesterday, so you want to check that out. They did draws because they reached their third US dollar amount, $500,000. They're now up to $670,000 US dollars, 680 wallets there. The rate at the moment is two watt tokens. That's the token that they're going to use. So there's currently 1.5 million watt tokens. So you get 2 watt tokens per dollar at the moment. And in 5 days, it's going to drop down to 1.7 tokens for $1. That's earlier pays better. You can check your estimates here. We've got the top wallets here, 47,000, 25,000. So quite different scale on this. And we're going to jump down all through this. We can see the big wallets. We've got 25 to 50. We've got 53 wallets and 9 at 25. And this is the allocations. The allocation is actually really good, right? Because you compare to the other pie charts, this is actually really nice and evenly allocated. And of course, I think that bodes well for the project, to be honest. So here we are. We've got 5 days in and then once you get into these days here, it's 1.75 per dollar. That's mint tokens and watt tokens, I should say. And then it's going to go down on 19th of 1.5 watt tokens. And then on the 21st, 1.25. Finally, on the 23rd of March, it's going to be 1 watt token per dollar. And that's going to be the rest right to the end. It finishes on the 5th of April, the sacrifice. So it's going to be interesting to see what they get up to as well. So that is pretty much that. And of course, you can see the PowerCity website at the top link. That will take you to the website. It gives you all the details. They are doing the PowerCity core. It's kind of where, if you imagine you have a whole ton of products or platforms and all the funds go into the core, I think that's kind of the way it works. All the money goes in the core and then it goes back to the watt holders if you're holding watt. Goes kind of like that. It's pretty cool. They're going to have a transformer bridge. They'll have fees on that. NFT marketplace, which if this is an indication, looks pretty cool. NGR nodes. So DeFi services and stuff like that. And then, of course, accelerator yield farming is really good for liquid loans and compounding yield farming. So obviously that's a pretty popular aspect of crypto related to yield farming. And then PowerCity Meta, so VR access to an ecosystem. So lots of good stuff. And of course, the team is on Magic Carpet Ride, so they are doxed from that point of view. And of course, once again, I think the biggest challenge is having the ability to get a lot of people using it. Now they're going to be competing with the NFT market as I say, versus Mintra. And of course, they're going to need exposure within the Hex Pulse chain and the Pulse, all the projects that go on to Pulse, right? So everything's getting airdropped from Ethereum. So Uni token, you name it, they're all going to come over. And of course, that means just having good marketing and having good ability to get that adoption. It's going to be a bit of a crazy thing, but once again, these all add value, right? So these all be setting up liquidity pools that all be traded on PulseX. And of course, a certain amount of that fee will be going to the Magic Buy and Burn for Richard Hart's token. So all these projects are going on there that in themselves are going to, offer a lot of value. And of course, for Richard Hart's tokens, they're going to add trade volume to push up Pulse, and PulseX is going to be beautiful, right? And Hex itself. So it's great to see these projects coming on, and these ones in particular are from within the community. So it's going to be pretty cool. And they're meeting big market needs. NFTs, obviously one of the biggest markets, DeFi, of course, and things like that. So it was pretty cool. All right, so nice one. And obviously we've got, let's just jump back here, but we've actually got another one coming up. So we've got Internet Money is coming up here. So we'll jump on to that. And that's not started yet. So 2 days and 20 hours away for Internet Money. I actually kind of like this from a tokenomics point of view. Now, this is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a wallet. And, of course, the fees from the wallet will go to people that hold the Internet Money. So it's called an IMD is the token. So if you've got IMD, you'll be getting a share of the fees from the MetaMask type of wallet, so on Pulsechain. So this could be potentially very lucrative if they can get adoption. Obviously, if it's quite unique, that could be a very big deal. Once again, these are great projects, but once again, you got to say, can they get the adoption? They can build the software. First of all, you got operational risk. Can they do that? Have they got proven? A lot of these ones you've never probably, if you haven't seen anything proven from them before, then you're just backing them anyway, right? If they seem like good guys that seem to know what they're doing, you're going to back them. But at the end of the day, all these need adoption. They're all going to have speculative value, right? So we know that's crypto, so they all have speculative value. But for long-term value, if you're wanting to make an income, you need to have it. Ask a few questions about marketing and adoption, because that's probably the key there. So nice there. So 2 days and 20 hours to go, and of course this hasn't started yet, so there's no details. But we can go to the website, and of course you can see it here. It's also got that as well. Sacrifice begins on March the 14th, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now, of course, you don't have to get in for this. It's completely optional. But of course, if you think that this kind of a MetaMask on Pulsechain is going to be really cool, then do some due diligence, see what the team say and this and that. Find out the info on it. I haven't done too much myself. They're going to have these assets, ETH and Binance Smart Chain, for the sacrifice. And of course, this is a very good, the tokenomics is actually really good. So all the other tokenomics is basically the volume of tokens goes up as people sacrifice more per dollar, whereas this here is actually limited. So you can see it here, 1.2 million equals 70.8% of the IMD supply. Once the 1.2 million is sacrificed, all additional funds are poured over into Pool B. Pool B, no cap, equals 10% of the IMD. 1.2 million to 1.3 million sacrifice unlocks an additional 1%. Every $100,000 sacrifice thereafter is an additional 1% unlocked. This rate will continue until 10% is unlocked. Once 10% is unlocked, there will be no cap on the total sacrifice. The 10% will be distributed proportionally to the individual sacrificed amount in Pool B. So let's take into account. Sacrifice begins with Pool A on March the 14th and ends when $1.2 million is sacrificed on April the 14th. So it's running for a month. But I think this is going to be sold out within probably, don't get me wrong, I don't know the future. But I have a feeling this is going to be sold out within hours, is my guess. It could be even quicker than that. When you got the Magic Carpet Ride team hunting around this as well, the Magic Carpet Ride pool, you don't be surprised. It's going to be pretty fascinating. And of course, this is kind of limited tokenomics, and this is actually superior in that way. I like this a lot. And of course, if the MetaMask wallet does boom on Pulsechain, whatever their Internet Money wallet, that'd be very cool. Now on Binance Smart Chain, they already have a token on there, and that's not been. I don't know if it's been that successful, but this could be successful. So do your investment due diligence, folks. I do like the tokenomics. The product is very exciting if they can pull it off and get it up. But they do need adoption. There's speculative value. We all know that. But is there underlying value to sustain that any part of that speculation? So just take that into account. But definitely something worth looking at. Do your investment due diligence. Watch the videos. Magic Carpet Ride team have, I think, got the Internet Money guys on there as well. And as we saw, they've actually been KYC'd as well recently, just the other day. So that's cool too. All right, so definitely check this out. If here's the sacrifice pool calculator, sacrificed 881,000. Pool A sacrificed, and that means total percent is 47% of the IMD tokens. Individual sacrifice 2,000. Individual ownership 0.12%. Individual tokens 2,446,000 IMD. So it gives you a bit of stuff here. And fees generated daily $208. Days of accrual 30. Individual payout $10. Kind of give you an indicator of that pool, what you might receive. So interesting stuff there. Definitely check that out, folks. That is internet money, and of course, yeah, I think that's probably got FAQs. What is IMD in there as well? So definitely check that out. I'll post this in the link there actually if you want to check out the sacrifice control. Boom. Let me paste that in there. Boom. All right. So cool. That's coming up, folks. 2 days and 20 minutes. I suspect that it's going to sell up pretty fast just because of the way the tokenomics is limited. The product's different from everyone else's product, as I say. But once again, adoption. Definitely watch a video before you decide to sacrifice. You've got 2 days and 20 hours to do your due diligence. And I think they're on Magic Carpet Ride. They've got a full rundown video on there. Cool Q&A type thing. If you hodl your Hedron, you'll get a copy. That's right. That's where we ended. Matt Brenton says maybe mint just before Pulse launch. That could be a good strategy. Could be too, Brenton. Sandy Beach says, yes, I agree. Too long. 1 month is long enough for people to cash their paychecks and sacrifice. That's true, Tim Top. That's true. What else we got going? We've got Craig says Russian bots are running late tonight. They are. They came in just at the end there. And of course, we're up to 1 hour and 20, so we're doing pretty good here. Timmy says nothing for too long for Hexkins is crazy. New 5 staker also. Thanks for enriching my journey with the insight. Hey, Timmy, a pleasure and a big shout out to you. Congratulations for the 5 stake and also a Hex Token channel member. Can't be too wrong, right? Right. So Tindot says to me the Quattro Synchro Barber. Nice, your future self. Well, thank you. That's right. You're paying your future self when you stake Hex 555, folks. Really is cool. And I just realized that we're up to Pulsechain, so we're going to talk about this quickly and then get into the rest of the chat. So obviously this is the end game, folks. Hex is the only community that has this coming, and of course there are Pulseskins and PulseXskins in the wings, and of course this is coming, folks. Biggest airdrop in crypto history. All the ERC20s and NFT contracts coming over to Pulsechain. It's the biggest airdrop in crypto history. It's going to be amazing, and of course PulseX is going to harvest all the pools, as many as they can, and of course create the biggest yield farming pools in crypto history and incentives. It's going to be mad crazy. On top of that, of course, Pulsechain is going to be super cheap, super fast. Everything's going to be Ethereum code with the upgrade of staking with the validators. A beautiful thing, and that's so exciting. And of course, this is amazing, right? So, and then of course, Hex will be copied over too. You'll get the airdrop as well. So everything that you got staked or liquid on Ethereum, you'll get copied over to a Pulsechain. Amazing stuff. Of course, that's going to be awesome. A day or two, that's going to be closed ecosystem when it launches, and people will be able to trade the ratios between pools after the AMM bot runs. AMM bot's pretty much going to be like printing money, basically. And as soon as the bridge opens up, mass adoption, potentially hundreds of thousands to millions of people coming from Ethereum over to Pulsechain. And why would they go back? Everything is Ethereum, but it's super fast, super cheap, and have got big airdrops and big incentives and deflationary tokenomics. So why would you ever go back? Of course, what I mean by that is that, of course, you're going to keep your asset over Ethereum, but once you come over, you're going to want to use the chain, right? It's going to be amazing. So mass adoption is it's going to be not only the biggest airdrop in crypto history, the biggest yield farm in crypto history, but the fastest way to mass adoption in crypto history. It's going to be amazing. Not only are we going to get Ethereum coming over, we're going to get users on all the other chains, Atrium, any other chain, second layers, other chains are going to come over for the yield farming. We'll get 100,000 yield farmers. It's going to be insane in the membrane. If you've been doing yield farming, you know that the mercenary mob of yield farmers jump chains. And of course, once they get over here, it's going to be the biggest of all time. So they're never going to want to leave. The other thing, of course, is that both Pulse and PulseX are both deflationary. The total supply is at the beginning. And then on Pulse, we're going to have a 0.25% fee that's going to make it get less and less and less over time. And, of course, on PulseX, we've got a magical buy and burn. We've got the incentive tokens, of course, rewarding stakers with PulseX. It's going to be awesome as well. It is a dream come true. And, of course, the tokenomics is just outstanding, right? The other thing, of course, we're going to have a fiat gateway. It means you're going to be able to go in and out of the system. New capital is going to be able to come in from fiat gateways. And, of course, you'll be able to pay your bills, take a bit of profits out over through the fiat gateway. You won't have to go all the way through the Ethereum bridge out the other side, 7 or 8 steps. to get your stuff out. There's going to be a fiat gateway too. On top of that, of course, we've got another pumpermental, liquid loans, and of course, people will be able to never sell their Pulse, and of course, they'll be able to get USDL, buy Pulse and buy PulseX, buy more Hex, and of course, pump all those up even more than the magical buy and burns, and of course, all the users coming over. So if you've sacrificed for Pulse and PulseX, you've got some of that fixed supply, and of course, everybody else that comes into over that bridge and through the fiat gateway are going to want your Pulse. They're going to want your PLX. It's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. You guys are all geniuses. So it's awesome. I love it. I love it. So you're all early, folks. It's going to be really cool. And of course, it's the biggest thing in crypto, and not just crypto, but domination. It's going to be awesome. So it's fantastic. All right, let's jump over to the timeline. Just going to go through this quickly. Obviously, we've got the timeline here. Pulsechain testnet 2. It's currently running 89 days. So very, very cool. It's delivered pretty much everything on the MVP, the go.hex, the Uniswap swap, PulseX and the bridge, and also the validators, right? We've got 33 validators testing on the Pulsechain testnet. There's more to come. More to come. Staker app's going to be doing it too. Okay, very cool. Excuse me. We're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 2.5, expected within the next week. So probably the next five days or so. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be testing it's going to have the balances for PulseX and Pulsechain, and of course the AMM bot is going to be half tested, half run with the Uniswap USDC swap version 2. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a new block height, so you should be able to, any tokens that you've had recently should show up on the Pulsechain because the other blocks are months and months old now. So that's going to be really exciting. So that's coming up. Super good. And of course, Pulsechain testnet 3 will come up, and that's expected to be short. That should expect to have the full AMM bot run. It's like a test run before mainnet, and away we go. So very, very cool with PulseX as well. PulseX on there. So exciting, folks. So at the moment, the earliest date that I have is the 15th of April now. Excuse me. 15th of April now for a launch, and that's going to be super exciting. So that's the earliest period now, 15th of April, after we have these two here running for about 2 weeks each. I've got these running at the moment. This 2.5 might run for 3 weeks. We'll see what Richard decides. But I don't. It's not really a lot of reason to see. They are still trying to find bugs in here. Get the bugs out before they do a final test run. So we'll see how long that runs. But this squad, I've got 2 weeks at the moment for both of them. And then obviously we're sitting at the earliest period for the 30th of March, but that's now been moved out because of 2.5 moved out to the 15th of April there. Cool. Once again, 89 days on testnet 2, almost 3 months, right, on a 30-day basis. Pretty cool. Now, we finished Expo, of course, yesterday. What else we got coming? The Hex Investment Trust. This is expected to go live today, basically, which probably means maybe they're going to start receiving money Monday onwards. Maybe that's the case. So Kinetics did say that Friday was the go live. So maybe they're going to start receiving money. This is UTC time, not my time. I'm in the future, of course, about a day in the future. So take that into account. So that's coming up, and of course, that's going to be super exciting, right? So we're waiting for that. The other thing, of course, that we've got the Talladega race, the 24th of April. That's coming up in the future there too. So lots of cool stuff, folks. Lots of cool. And of course, here is the Hex Investment Trust. Woo! Now this is basically getting setting up investment trust, getting lots of money in, and of course, buying Hex 555. So if you think this price is going to stay around here. If you think the Hex price is going to stay around here for much longer with Pulsechain coming, with PulseX coming, with the Hex Investment Trust coming, and many other big money bags coming, you're going to be poorly mistaken. Not investment advice, but you're going to be poorly mistaken. Do your own due diligence, but you're going to be poorly mistaken if you don't, because this is coming. This is going to be buying big volumes of Hex and staking 5. Hex is already rare, even though the price is down. The market price can do certain things, but actual overall, Hex is now something like 40% rarer than it was. Now, a big shout out, Gunther the accountant's about to do an update. You've heard me talk about this if you've watched this show regularly. Gunther the accountant hopefully will get an idea of circulating supply now. So I've been tentative about doing a circulating supply estimate because I've been waiting on Gunther. But the Gunther's about to do a live stream, I think within the next 12 hours or something. I've got myself on the list to watch that. So if you're on YouTube, go search it out. Gunther the accountant. It's about to be on. I'm just not sure what channel that's on, but that's definitely coming up. And I saw that earlier today. So Gunther the accountant's going to be on on that one. So check that out on YouTube. He's coming up to do a live stream, so that's going to be awesome. I'm not sure if that's Discord Syndicate or some other channel. Oh, no, it's on Cabana Crypto. Go to Cabana Crypto channel, and you'll see that Gunther account. Watch that. If you're hardcore, you want to know the details, it's going to be about circulating supply. Hopefully we get to that. And, of course, man, is it under 4%? I don't know. If it's under 4%, that's super bullish. Obviously, we would love to get circulating supply down to 2.4. We have been trading a circulating supply before the sacrifices was around about 4.6, 4.7%. So have we come down further than that with the sacrifices and everything else, with the staking, with people exiting, stuff like that? It's going to be fascinating to see. That's a very important number for the Hex price pumpamental. So very, very cool. I think that's a perfect place to finish, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's coverage of Hex, the future of Hex, and of course everything that's coming is just awesome, right? It's awesome. I haven't even talked about a lot of stuff in the future after this. This is the year of infrastructure for Richard, rolling out this ecosystem here. This is the future. This ecosystem here is the infrastructure this year, but there's more that Richard wants to be done, either himself or other people in the community, like Kinetics team is doing. So very, very exciting. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Let us wrap things up. It's an hour and a half, which is pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Let's go through the final comments. Timmy says he already is. Thank you. Empty Corner's got the hang 5 or something. Very, very cool. And Timmy's got the good vibes in the house. Blobfish King says, I just realized I'm a Hex OG and should be get free copies on Pulsechain. You will, Bob. You will. Very cool. T says, fantastic show. Thank you. Hey, T, appreciate it. And a big shout out. If you haven't subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you want to join us, member, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechins, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club. Is that more perfectly named or what? Because I think that's kind of cool as we promote those projects non-stop into the future. Very, very cool. Timmy's got, I agree. Just noticed that hat. Nice, Maverick. Nice. Yeah, Top Gun. That's the way we go. We're going hardcore. Sandy Beach says, thank you very much. Hey, Sandy, appreciate it. Great to see you. We called you out. We called Sandy and Sandy Games, so that was cool. And Bizarro's in the house too. I copied my Hedron stakes into a Google Sheet, Excel spreadsheet, and added up all my Hedron I got today versus what I had yesterday. I'm making some nice money. Well done to you, Bizarro. Very, very cool. All right, so let me just sign off here. Thanks for watching. And let's go into here and bam. Also, if you're a Hex Token channel member, you know how we roll. Let's smash out some emojis on the way out, and let us do that now. Boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. Hey, finally, a big shout out once again to Maddie Allen for the Expo Conference Vegas. Awesome stuff with your team. 9 months of hard work, and man, you are making an impression on the community. We do salute you for that. Very, very cool. I can imagine the next year is going to get bigger and better. So very, very cool. Shelf Fox says, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And Sandy in there with some more rockets. I love it. And Craig's in there too. Let me post mine. Boom. Let me go here. Bam. There we are. That's mine. Very, very cool. All right. Take care, everybody out there. Remember, spend good quality time with your friends and family. That's the way to go. We love crypto, but of course, there's nothing more important than friends and family. Get out there, folks. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.